you were teaching, you mentioned that there is profit in purpose. And then
It's profit, yeah.
Yeah. But before that, you mentioned that when you discover your purpose, sometimes you love to do it free.
That's correct.
Yeah, so I was inspired by that, but I have a question.
Yes.
My question is on, when we look at Moses, we could say that Moses' purpose was to deliver the people. We could also look at Elijah. Let's just move forward to Jesus. Is it possible to be discouraged in purpose?
Oh, absolutely. If you are not being trained in the process of the mapping, frustration can step in. Okay? Because you know what you should do, but you haven't been empowered on how to do it well or do it better. That still can bring discouragement.
Yeah, so that leads me to my second question, because somebody like, I'm just with what you just said, if you are not really well trained, Moses, should we say that Moses was not really trained? Elijah being discouraged? Jesus himself, that Father, if I wish it is my will, but let your will be done.
Yeah.
Should we say that?
So you make a really good question, a good point. That's where there's and this is an important point actually. So there is a difference, and I told you there's a difference between your physical self, your purpose on earth, and your purpose towards the kingdom. Now, the two can conflict, and they do fight against each other sometimes, okay? So what happens normally is clear your purpose towards the kingdom, but then you can be frustrated by your purpose on earth. Are you following me? And once the two of them are in conflict, you can be discouraged. Does that make sense? Okay? So how was Moses born? He was born into amazing wealth and power. But remember that what Moses needed to take the children of Israel out. So my point is, nothing happens by mistake. Okay? So even his birth in Pharaoh's palace was part of design. Because that is the reason why he was able to do specific things he did. But then, to fulfill the full purpose, he had to learn new things. And that had to be in new environments. So, for example, he had to be taken out of Egypt to his father-in-law, which is Jethro. And Jethro taught him patience and quiet, which he didn't have in the palace, which is the biggest features he needed for the big job he was to do. So, discouragement most of the time comes, which is why there's partnership, I'm telling you. All this happens. So, has it ever happened to you where you know what you're supposed to be doing? You feel good when you're doing it. But then you are broke, and so you are always unhappy. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean that you're not happy when you are doing it. It's just because the physical element is contradicting the purpose. Okay? That's the reason why. So you know what you're supposed to be doing. When you're doing it, you feel amazing. But then you are broke. You're wondering, why am I broke? The reason is because you need to undergo training on how to move purpose to profit.
Thank you.
And this is something else I noticed. Most people who get frustrated, okay, miss a singular premise. And it's the premise of solving problems. It is the only basis where profit can come. Now you can do something because you love it. Like for example, some people draw, and when they are drawing, as if heaven has come down. But they have a pile of drawing in their house. So flip it. Next time you see your pastor, say, Pastor, you look so lovely today. Can I draw you? What have you done? Because purpose is not for you. Yeah. So you draw for pastor and give him this gift. Pastor say, what a beautiful gift, and put it on his wall. And people come in and they are admiring this beautiful drawing. Then on your next birthday, you call that your son. I say, draw me another picture for my next birthday. And then the boy will say, but daddy, ink is expensive. See, but the only reason he can even say that is because there's been an expression that met a problem. Many people who get frustrated in purpose, go find out, they're not solving many problems. It's literally just them. They're enjoying the flow. Amazing. But which problem are you solving? Why do you think Jesus Christ can just send somebody, go down the road, meet one man, and tell him, I need a donkey? How? If you track it down, that man has been held by the ministry. So when I say profit, I don't necessarily mean cash. I mean provision. I will say what I mean. I travel a lot in my job, okay? I told you I've just been in 3 countries, and I'll do 4 more countries in the next couple of weeks. But what if I told you that the last time I remember paying for my international flight and accommodation from my pocket was over 4 years ago? So I've not spent cash, but if I want to go somewhere, I go. I don't want to talk about that, another dimension of provision. Are you following me? So my point is the fact that don't focus on the profit. Trust me, focus on solving the problem. Everything follows on after that. It says fundamental premise or purpose.